What's up, guys? Today we don't have the best news. I came over to the shop and Alberto is about to leak down test the engine for you, and we'll show you what we found.
Leak down what?
Well, I mean, the leak down tester isn't working, so we're basically just pressurizing the cylinder. Same thing.
I'm gonna put about 50 psi on this.
Intake valves?
Yeah, so we're having intake valve leakage, so we're leaking compression back into the intake from cylinder 3 and 4. That's why it's reading a little bit lower, or a lot lower on those cylinders.
There's a possibility that on top of that as well, because it doesn't really make sense that if the engine was having like 60 psi of compression on those cylinders, that it would still run as smoothly as it did. So my hypothesis is maybe it's more around like 100 psi of compression, and we're losing compression because of the corrosion from, if you remember, water seeping in there, probably from the hood or whatever. I don't know what the plan is going to be yet in regards to if we're going to rebuild this engine or come up with a different plan of action, but regardless, today the engine's got to come out, and then maybe by the end of the day we'll be able to make a better decision on what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. So, what do you guys say? You want to all throw down and see how quick we can get this thing out?
Sure.
I mean, we don't need to like super rush though, because we're going to try to be organized to make our life easier. So, let's do it. Look what came in the mail, the machine piece that Serial 9 made for me, so I can run another diff pusher in here. How sick is that? Bolt-on fitment, just gotta have Alberto weld that in place, and we'll be chilling. Alberto got it all welded up in there, so now we're ready to go send this thing off to powder coat, and then we can start putting the JZX back together. The fun thing about tearing stuff like this apart is there's a lot of stuff we get to take out that we don't even need to put back in. So, one thing, if you guys don't know this, these cars come factory with a side mount intercooler, which works, but it's not really the most efficient. So this was actually just right up here. If you guys saw on the time lapse, I pulled that out, and then we'll be making a front mount setup for it, so we can get a little bit better airflow and keep the IATs down. Another thing that we can take out, this guy right here is for the active aero. So these cars actually have like, what does it tell me? It's kind of like a lip that goes down, right?
Yeah, it's like a little front lip.
But obviously it's not on there anymore because of the fact that it has an aftermarket bumper. I mean, I guess it's this, but like it wouldn't work because it's in the bumper. Other than that, some of the other little dumb stuff that we're able to take out, there's like a, what is it called? A carbon canister? Something like that?
Charcoal canister.
Yeah, what does that thing even do?
Collect gases from the gas tank. Recirculate it back into the engine.
What's the purpose? Why do we take?
Yeah, emissions.
Okay, well, the car will still pass emissions, right? Just with the cat, right? Right?
Yeah.
We'll take it out of the trash, and if you win the car in a state that needs emissions, we got you, okay? We got you. We are planning on doing an exhaust setup where the cat will bolt right back in if you do need it for emissions purposes. We'll have a test pipe there, but we'll make it so you can just bolt the cat up if you ever need to go get this thing emissions tested. Some of you guys predicted that this car was trailered backwards, and that's why it's all chipped up in the back. We did get confirmation that before this car went from Oregon to Texas, it did not have all these chips in the bumper. And what further confirmed this theory, if you look under here, all this dirt and sand on the back of the subframe doesn't make any sense unless the car was taken through like a sandstorm or something. So I actually thought that a lot of this stuff was rust, and I was a little bit stressed about it. That's why I said in another video, there's a little rust in the rear end. It's literally like clay sand just piled up everywhere. Take the truck.
Just to be clear, if you've watched like 10 minutes of time-lapse footage, it is not just me having a hard time. Alberto is struggling to get this plug off, and we've been having a race to see who will be the first one to remove the plug. Who damaged theirs more? That's what I want to know.
Oh, you're already winning on that one.
Am I?
Yeah.
Don't tell me that. He's gonna beat me. This is what Big Boots does. Did he get his?
Yep.
You jerk.
Well, now let me double check. Gotta make sure.
Check his work.
Okay, yeah, he done. He done.
Is this,
And it's not broken.
it's not broken?
Yep.
Mine's gonna break.
It's broken. If anyone wants.
You need the good old tools or you like yours again? Here.
What is going on?
Here, hold the other side of the plug with this. Well, yeah, this part. Well, you gotta press on the thing. So maybe you're gonna break the car.
Shut up. Sick of your know-it-allness.
Hey!
Got it.
No? Not
Didn't
broken?
Not broken.
Okay.
I did
Want
not
to
break.
break?
Commentary by Alberto. You want to repeat what you said now that I'm filming?
RB is the only good thing they are. Wait, the only good thing.
Come on, you can do it. You can do it.
RB is the only good thing they're for is coming out of the car. You know, we're not supposed to say that yet.
See, if I was a scumbag, what I'd probably do is steal this trans and put it in my Skyline, and then put my Z32 trans in this car. They're the same internally, but the shifter on this one lines up way better. The Z32 trans, I have to have this like adapter for the shifter, and it just doesn't really feel as nice as this one does. So this right here, that's the sauce. I'm curious what the condition of the clutch was, because we were planning on leaving it originally, but with the new plan, we're going to be replacing it. So I'm curious to see if that would have been a good move or a bad move, because it felt like it was just replaced recently. It felt like it had a lot of grab to it, like it has a decent disc. Looks like it had some leaky valve cover gasket action going on in back. Definitely not the prettiest engine I've ever seen, huh? So looking at the flywheel, definitely looks like it would have been a good move to replace it. So it is good to know. And the actual clutch definitely is an aftermarket clutch. This isn't a factory clutch, but it is getting to the point where it is almost out of life. You can see those rivets are almost past the surface level of the actual clutch. What are those called? The clutch pucks?
Pads,
The clutch pads, pucks, whatever you want to call them.
and the pressure plates.
Yeah.
It's spotted too.
Thing's gross, huh?
Yeah. Is it plastic?
So if you haven't figured out by this point, we're not going to be putting this engine back in the car. What are we going to do?
What is on this thing?
What? Is it dirt?
No, it's like not metal.
The plastic?
Metal.
That's weird.
What is this thing?
Very good.
We're going to be having some parts for sale off this thing, like the manifold, along with the turbo, in case anybody has an RB20 and wants a 25 turbo. We'll also have the intake set up with the pod filter. I'll probably post this stuff on Instagram or on Twitter, so just hit me up. It's kind of tough to tell since we don't have the manifold to mock up the turbo and the engine bay like I wanted to do. But if you guys remember, we were aware that with Skylines, with the setup that we're kind of going with, there's a good chance that we would have clearance issues, and I wanted to clearance it before we got it painted. So I actually just took a big hammer and just kind of like hammered this section in a little bit. It used to come out round like this. I didn't really hammer it in that much because I'm hoping the fitment will be a little bit better. This manifold looks like it'll place the turbo a little bit closer. But rather than this being round and coming out, I just kind of lightly clearance this inside area to hope that we'll have room. Car's got a bunch of weird funky wiring that we can't figure out what it goes to. It's got like a weird switch and stuff. Maybe it was to that alarm that it had installed, but hopefully it was nothing major. I guess we'll find out though when we go to put it all back together and something's not working. So you guys are probably wondering at this point what we are going to do in regards to the RB25. Alberto, would you agree with me that it's most likely a head issue? It's probably valves causing 90% of the compression loss?
Well, yeah. According to the test that we did, we are having leakage from the intake valve.
You heard it from the man himself. However, when it comes to machine work with engines, there are two things that kind of scare me. One, lead time. I'm trying to get this car running and tuned by the end of next week, so it gives me 2 weeks of buffer time to dial in the car, drive it around, find any issues with it, and get it really solid. And if the machine shop takes, you know, an extra week, that's gonna push the timeline back too close for me to be comfortable with. And when you start taking stuff apart, there's always this increase of chance, you know, something could be messed up. There are plenty of machine shops that have had errors and stuff with builds before. And I just really don't want to risk it with this. So that RB25 is going to get put on a back burner. I have another idea for another project, probably a few months down the road, that it'll actually work out well for. I can take my time, get it machined and fixed up. And what I'm thinking that we're going to do in this, we're going to put an RB26 in this car out of an R32 GTR. So if you guys know Tommy F, yeah, he has 3 RB26s, and one of them came out of his friend's GTR, and it was compression tested before it came out, checked out nice. But the raddest thing about the RB26 that he has for me is that the car that it came out of had 50,000 confirmed kilometers. So that's like, how many miles is that? Like 30,000 miles? Something ridiculous?
Something like that. Yeah.
So like, we're talking a super, super low mileage, minty fresh RB26. A little bit of a premium on the price because it is in such good shape. But we're gonna use the same parts that we had. Other than the intake manifold, we'll use the stock one on that because of the ITBs. But my exhaust manifold that I got for this car will bolt right up to it. But the cool thing about doing the RB26 is they can handle a bit more power. I think we'll be able to push closer to 500 wheel on the RB26 as opposed to closer to 400 wheel where we were going to be at on the RB25 safely. So this thing could potentially make up to 500 wheel now, which is pretty exciting. Another really good benefit of the RB26 as well is that the valve covers are beautiful, so it'll make the engine bay look a lot nicer. But overall, this has actually made the build a lot more exciting for me. Since we'll be using almost the same manifold and same turbo setup that I have on my 25, I'm really curious kind of how the spool differs with an RB26, which is 0.1 liter bigger, versus my RB25 that's 0.1 liter smaller, however, has VCT that supposedly makes it spool faster. So the RB26 might spool a little bit slower than my RB25, it might spool a little bit faster. I don't know, I'm curious to see how the ITBs feel, but it's kind of cool, and it has made this build a lot more exciting to me and hopefully more exciting to you guys. As a reminder, if you do want to get entered for a chance to win this car, every $5 you spend on eligible merchandise on lzmfg.com, you can find a link in the description, will enter you for a chance to win this R33 Skyline with an RB26 that might be making close to 500 wheel. So we're still going to be doing service to that engine and making sure everything's dialed. We'll be doing a pretty beefy clutch now just to make sure it's going to handle the power. But it's pretty exciting. I mean, this car is kind of like a GTR clone with the kit and, you know, brakes and everything and seats. So to put an RB26 in it is kind of a cool thing to do. It's going to be a bit more pricey, but just to not have to stress about having issues with this RB25, because like what if, you know, we fix a couple things and then it's another thing that had a problem? What if it was actually in the bottom end? I don't want to take that risk, and I just want this car to be very simple and reliable. And we just happen to have an RB26. Tommy happens to have a harness and happens to have a rear-wheel drive converted pan. So, I mean, why not, right? So, what do you think about this idea? You like it? RB26? I think it should be pretty cool.
Yes, very excited.
In the most monotone voice.
Yeah, we've been going.
Very excited.
I broke Alberto. Clean out all this crap in this bay. The ABS stuff is going to be annoying. I don't know if we'll remove it all because there's so many friggin' spaghetti lines that maybe we can just like unbolt it and move it while we spray the bay. I don't know. Tommy loves spraying the bay, don't you, dude?
Yeah, it's the best part of a build.
Best part of the build is spraying your bay.
Cover yourself, Tommy. What are you doing?
Spray all the bays.
Yeah.
Leave everything
One of the hardest part of that is this, putting all this harness and fuse box through so we can get the engine bay properly painted.
Yeah, this thing's gross.
The right way. Can you believe this thing made it this far?
This thing's almost as gross as Schulman's ankles. Bro, dude, we got a creepy Japanese spider in here. Wait, no, this car came from the UK, so is that a UK spider?
Oh, it's a European spider. Those are worse.
Dude, those are the worst. Dude, is that a European spider egg? You see that?
Is that another spider on the bottom?
Where? Is this an egg?
Oh, it's an acorn.
So it's a spider egg. No, dude, that's a fucking... Bro, that's a spider egg. This is the... See, they hatch out of this egg, right? Dude. This is worth money.
Damn, it's so gross.
Comment below. Is that a UK spider or a Japanese spider?
I don't think people will want the car.
So we've got a timeline for this build, and today our main goal was to basically get the engine out and... You're fine. You can lift it up. It doesn't matter. You can go. Yeah, you're good. It was to basically get the engine... We're on par. Today was basically to get the engine out, and tomorrow we're gonna start cleaning and removing the final little bits. We still gotta make a couple holes and a few modifications for stuff to fit properly, but I think it's definitely solid for the first day start of work on this Skyline. Heading back home at a decent hour. It's kind of weird. Gonna go actually pick up some pasta for myself, since food restaurants are actually open. It's weird.